Hey, this is Overlord's Chem class, and we're going to be doing 6-9 worksheet, level 2 problems, and we're going to be looking at number 12. Number 12 is asking us to take the chemical name of a formula and turn it into the formula that uses the element symbols and the subscripts. So let's get right into this, and the first thing that I notice about my material is that I have this long name to start out with, methyl ammonium. Now normally this is where a metal would end up being named, but I hope that you recognize that methyl ammonium is not the name of any element that you had to learn. So that is a big clue that you are going to be looking at the polyatomic chart. This is one of the rare positive polyatomic ions, and we're just going to simply write that down as is. CH3, NH3, and we're going to just include the charge up top because that's going to help us balance the charges to 0 at the end. Okay, the next thing that I need to deal with then is the second term in the name, which is azide. Now normally when a chemical name ends in IDE, it is a nonmetal from the periodic table, and we change that ending to IDE, like oxide or nitride. But in this case, I hope that you recognize AZ as, or A's, is not going to be one of the elements that we had to learn. In fact, there's no element that matches that description. So again, that cues us in that this is an unusual polyatomic ion that ends in IDE. There's only a few of them, and here we find it right here on the periodic table as N3-1. So we're simply going to write that down on our anion side as N3, and then we're going to put that little charge up top, -1. Okay, the final thing that we need to do now to finish our problem out is to check the charges and make sure that those charges balance out to 0. So up on the positive side, I have a +1, so that's for this whole thing here. Now normally I would not be putting parentheses in there, but I'm putting that in there so you can see what's going on here. The whole thing has a +1 charge, just like this N3 has a -1 charge. That whole thing has a -1 charge. So what we have is already our charges add up to 0. We have one +1 polyatomic ion, one -1 polyatomic ion, and so it adds up to 0. So what I'm going to do here is simply rewrite now my formula without the parentheses. If I only have one of each of those polyatomic ions, I only need to write the symbols. I do not need any of the parentheses. And so this then is the name, or excuse me, the formula for methyl ammonium azide. That's it. Over and out.